That's my mum, Christine.
Oh, nice to meet you. Get to know your mum. Christine.
They're the ones that live behind you.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
The horrible house across the road, they're behind that one.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Who's behind you?
Hello. Welcome to the live stream.
Is this Dad?
No, I'm late.
Oh,
I'm
Dad, sorry.
just setting up at the moment. I've got my speech ready, so we're just going to wait for everyone to turn up before we go live. There's a bike here.
Wow, I've been looking forward to
I
seeing
got food.
this.
There's plenty of food if you want to dig in.
Well, it's taken him long enough. He was
Yeah.
working when I was an
It's
apprentice
been
at council.
really...
10
Yeah.
years. 10
Yeah,
years.
it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you actually end up using that seat mould you did while I was there?
Yeah, I used that on the old one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Right.
We have 3 people.
Keep an eye out. So.
Wow. Such a big turnout.
Mate, it's like if I did a stream. You've got
Yeah.
probably 2 more than I have.
Yeah, pretty much. If you can't hear me, let me know. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, so 3 people on the line, like
Yeah,
on the stream now.
it is live. Echolocation says hi. Hello.
Hello, echolocation.
I will echolocate back to you. All right. Do you want to go stand over there and point at me? Just bear with me while I make horrible mistakes.
Oops.
But
Go that way.
does it go sideways on Instagram?
Does it go sideways? You mean like?
Yeah, when you turn it, does Instagram turn it sideways, or is it?
I mean, it's filming you the correct. Like
Yeah.
it's
'Cause
just
I wanna show
rotated.
it, people might be like this on it.
Well, yeah, I'll have to stand back a bit
Yeah.
so I can get you.
Okay, I'll try and talk up.
Just like when you were at school and you killed it.
Yeah. Right, hello everyone on Instagram. Thank you and welcome to this live stream unveiling of my human-powered streamlined bicycle. For those who don't know me, who might be tuning in for the first time, my name's Adam. I'm the owner, builder and rider of this bicycle. I'd like to thank everyone here for coming, your close friends and supporters for supporting me on this big journey that I've been going through. So today I'll just be doing a little bit of a talk about myself and how I got to this point where I am now, and giving a brief history of like my journey in building this bike. I'll be interviewing my parents and my brother because they've been here supporting me mostly on this journey. They've been seeing everything that I've been doing, and then after that I'll be unveiling the bike and going through some details on the bike, and then taking questions for anyone who wants to know more about specific things on the bike. One of the biggest questions I get is how I got into this sport, because it's such a niche sport that only a few people in the world really are interested in doing. So I grew up playing soccer and cricket, and at the age of 19 in 2009 I broke my ankle playing soccer. That was an injury that I thought was going to be the end of my career. I'd always loved cycling as a kid, and growing up, growing up I'd always loved cycling, so I started doing cycling as rehabilitation for my ankle. After about a year of cycling just as rehabilitation, I started doing cycling competitively because I couldn't do soccer or cricket anymore. I started doing that to satisfy my sporting needs. So the first year of cycling I was doing criteriums, and I didn't really find the same adrenaline rush that you get through a grand final for soccer, because playing a grand final, like one of the most memorable ones is when I played in Canberra against one of their university teams, or one of their school teams, which was like pretty much state level soccer. It was such an adrenaline rush, and I didn't feel like you got the same team sport environment that you do through cycling. So I went to track cycling, which is a more intense and adrenaline-filled tactical version of cycling, but I found that still was quite boring. I still didn't go as fast as I would hope to be going. So I always wanted to be a professional athlete, and like I knew I was never going to make it in soccer or cricket because you have to be pretty good at that. So my motto is, if you want to be good at something, pick a sport that no one else does, so then you can be number one. And that's exactly what I did. So after track cycling, I was bored of that, so I started Googling the world's fastest bike, because me being me, I want the extreme, so I Googled that, and I found the very first thing I saw was Sam Whittingham's Varna Diablo 3, and a video of him going over 82 miles per hour, which is 130 kilometers an hour. And the first thing I thought was, that's for me. I fell in love instantly. I was like, that is the sport. And this is before I even started doing research into it. So after doing some research, I found that all these bikes, most of them back in the day when I started following the sport, were home built and highly engineered by people like me that are nerds and into sport. So after seeing that, I was totally in love. I just could not get my hands off it. I loved it. Downloaded hundreds and hundreds of hours of video and photos and just started studying. Since following the sport in 2011, so I broke my ankle in 2009, a year of rehab, and then in 2011 I started following. Since then I have built 5 bicycles and taught myself anything from CNC machining, carbon fiber manufacturing, computer design. I've learnt and taught myself firsthand everything that needs to be done on this bike, even anodizing recently on some of the parts I'll show you later. Up to that point, that brought me up to 2019, where I went to America to compete at my very first human-powered, World Human-Powered Speed Challenge. So I bought a bike second-hand and modified it to my standards and to racing standards, to racing safety standards, and took it there with my brother and my dad, and I achieved a speed of over 55 miles per hour, which is 90 kilometers an hour. So my brother and my dad came with me on that journey. So, come in, Dad. This is my dad. He was the push starter for this bike, not this bike, my streamliner. And so, in your own words, how would you describe your feelings towards me and this sport, and how are you proud? What do you?
I couldn't be prouder of everything that you've achieved in the sport.
Yeah.
Seeing you crash at 50 miles an hour wasn't a good feeling.
I could imagine.
Going off the side of the road, but seeing you jump up and wave out, I'm all good.
Yeah. We did collaborate. We did collaborate a lot. This is one thing I wrote down. Because it was my push starter, we worked together a lot. I have to know what he wants, and he has to know what I want. We have to communicate really well inside the bike. And there was a few times where I thought I was balanced, and he's telling me I'm not balanced, and I'm going, no, you're wrong. He goes, yes, I'm right. And eventually I started trusting him, and by the end we were getting our push starts better than nearly everyone, and we were, except for Ellen, she's better than anyone. And yeah, we were starting within a few steps. Yeah. So yeah, I'm stoked on that.
Yeah.
Glad you could help me with that. So.
I was so proud of what you achieved.
Yeah.
And I was so glad to be with you when you did achieve it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Alright, you're dismissed.
Thank you.
You can go hide off camera. So my brother is the other person that has been helping me along the way. And no, I'll just flip it around. Flip it. Come over here.
Hello.
So yeah, my brother David, he was doing the software on the bike, so he was doing a camera overlay and the data logging and everything like that. So, in your words, what was it like coming on? I'll do it this way. What was it like to come to America and?
Yeah, it was a good experience. It was
Yeah.
very interesting and good to see you achieving your dreams and,
Yeah.
and going faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a good experience. You know, it may not have been your best experience. Like, you know, there were setbacks and stuff, but it was a learning experience. So
Yeah.
it only made you better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to share that experience, especially with my brother and my family, having them the biggest part in this team and like the biggest part in going to America. It was just I couldn't want anyone else on the team. Like you can trust your family, and I feel like I had a better time with my family than I would with someone else on the team, like trying to organise everything myself. Whereas my family, I know what they're capable of, and I know I can trust them. So the last one, I'll flip it around again. Here, David. The last person has been my mum, who's probably, out of all of the people that have been involved in this bike, she's probably been the most involved because, honestly, yeah. Well, maybe not involved, but she's been listening to the most. I've been talking her ear off for years and years and years. I would always be in the garage when I was designing this bike, when I was living with my parents, and I'd run inside and I'd be like, "Mum, come help me," while she's trying to cook dinner. I'm like, "I need you to hold this tape measure while I take a measurement," and I'll be sitting in a test seat trying to squeeze my body in the optimal position, and she'll put a mark, put like a little bit of timber resting on my head, and then I'll get out and I'll take a measurement, and then she'll go away, cook dinner again, and then I'll come in 10 minutes later and go, "Mum, I've got another idea. I need your help again." So she'll come out, she'll put everything down and come out and measure it all. And I've been everything I've been designing, I've been telling my mum, I've been talking about the engineering of it. I'm like, "Oh, this part, and this does this and whatever," and she probably has no idea what I'm talking about, but she's so polite and so helpful when she listens. So yeah, I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, well, I'm so proud of you, and it's good to see you gaining confidence and
Yeah.
your achievements, and
Yeah.
you know everyone's proud of you,
Yes, that's good.
and I'm glad I could help.
Yeah. Thank you.
Even though I didn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, she couldn't come to America, unfortunately, but yeah, she's been there doing everything else and helping me out with the measurements and everything. So, this bike has been 10 years in the making so far. 6 of those years, the first 6 years has been designing, and then the first 6 years have been learning about the sport. 3 years has been designing, and the last 2 years, like flat out every day, as soon as I come home from work, and on the weekends, I've been putting all my time into building this for 2 years. So, without further ado, I present to you
Here's the drum roll.
the Millennium. So I'll give a quick walk around on the shape and the design. So as you can see here, I've got a little window where I've got 2 cameras in the front of it. So this is the same system as Team Polycumbent, Andrea's and Vittoria's team. I used to have the camera sticking up on a tripod at the back, but in America when I flipped the bike, that snapped off. So my new design is incorporating everything internally into the bike to protect it as best as possible. So the shape of the bike is based on, like I was saying before, Sam Whittingham's Varna Diablo and Cygnus Vita, I think it is, and Velox Free, which is the Dutch bike, which broke the world record and took it from Sam Whittingham after 11 years or 10 years or something of him holding it. So that's the main inspiration for this, which is where I got like the nose height off the ground and like the tail height off the overall height and stuff like that. But the shape of the body and the overall shape is governed basically on three things, which is the seat angle, which gives you the head height, your shoulder width, which forces you to give you the maximum width of the bike, and the pedal frontal area, which gives you the initial nose shape. So if you put all those together, you get that curve. So there is computer and mathematical equations you can use, but I'm not very smart, so I just did whatever.
Don't put yourself down, you're plenty smart.
I'm not as smart as a mathematician, so I just did whatever looked good. So yeah, do you want to grab the front of the sleeve?
Do you want me to go around and show from the side?
Yeah, sure.
I just don't know which way to do it.
Yeah, go that side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'll show on the inside. Yeah, slide forward. Hold on. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. Keep going forward. Just put it on the grass. Yeah.
Whoa. What's going on here?
I'll put a drift height off, mate.
Right, so I'll show on the inside. So here's a camera system here, and I have a GPS module to track my speed and basically GPS location. This bit here is just a brace, so the fairing sits on it and like doesn't smash around. Everything on this bike is completely custom, 100% custom. The only thing that's not custom is the sprockets here. The main chainring here is custom, pedals are custom, anodized red, custom bottom bracket and axle, custom wheels, custom everything. So yeah, so I've anodized as many parts as I can to just make it look like a giant rainbow. I've painted everything a different colour just to make it stand out. Yeah, so these pedals are just 10mm flat plate that I've just drilled and bolted through. Let's go with the wheel covers are just carbon fibre, and these forks are custom designed by me. Quite proud of the shape of it. It's designed to hold the wheel in a brace around like this, but also provide a lot of support through here. The intermediate gear system here is based off Delft's Velox 9, and I have a Sprague bearing in here. It cost me $390, so the chainring can ratchet back and then instant engagement as it goes forward. I have electronic servos under here running the toothed rail, and on the handlebars I have push buttons, so I've got gear up and gear down, so it's just basically like a Ferrari. You just push a button and it changes gears. So yeah, custom forks as well, custom machined forks, custom handlebars, custom height here, because the fairing sits about 1 millimeter away from that. All the electronics in here are housed underneath this bit here, and then the battery packs are there and there with all the switches under it. And then I've got my 2 screens which I look at. I have a 4-point safety harness which is required in the racing, and a roll cage at the back for when we crash at stupidly fast speeds. This seat is completely custom molded to my body, so it only fits me, but it hugs me like a bear hug. So it is because it hugs me so tight, it's comfortable and allows me to put as much force into the pedals as possible. I have dual 205 disc brakes on the back with custom anodized mounting system and anodized brake mounts. Thank you, Clive and Nuclear Autumn. I appreciate it. We got little pads here to cushion the fairing and dampen vibration. I've got mounting points down the bottom, at the front, and up the top at the back to lock the fairing in when it slides on, and then those pads stop it moving torsionally. And it also sits up against these little flappy bits on the side here, so it sits along that edge, so it won't push in. So it sits about here, flush with that edge, but when it comes down, it peels away and sits against that. So when I do crash on my side, it's not going to push into my body. On the fairing, just quickly, I've got these 2 little holes, one on each side, so when I crash and I'm unconscious, I say when because yes, it will happen eventually. What those latches are, they're Fidlock magnetic latches. You push a dowel inside here and it unlocks the latch, so when I can't unlock it from the outside, from the inside, someone else can come along and do a safety unlock from the outside and take the fairing off. I think I'll hop in it and give you a view of what it looks like for me to hop in it. So Dave, do you want to hold that? I'll just climb in. Come over this side.
Probably because his body's going to be down the bottom, basically.
Come over this side. Just around here. So there's really only one way inside this bike, and it's not easy. And you have to put your leg through here, contortion yourself, and put your hand on either side, and then slide in. And then you can put your safety harness on, lock it in, pull it tight, grab the handlebars, feet on the pedals, and be ready to ride. So here, if you want to come from behind, you can see how locked in I am. My elbows probably sit about here in the fairing, and they can tuck in a little bit further in case I crash. So I can tuck them in and hold on tight, so when I roll I don't flop around too much. I've got these pads on the side so it cushions my head from a tough carbon fibre, and my helmet only just fits in as well, but I don't need to sit forward or back. It's basically sitting in this one position and driving as much power as I can through it. So a part of a new safety system is we have to prove we can get out of a bike in a certain amount of time, or we don't pass the safety inspection. So I think that was pretty quick. I've designed it to be efficient. But also comfortable and as fast and safe as possible. It's a little bit heavy because of that, but I'd rather safety over lightweight bike. I've got these for the steering. There's the steering lock, or the steering lock up here, left and right. I've only got a few degrees of steering, but that stops a wheel from flapping left and right. So there's a lot of engineering gone into it. So if anyone has any questions, hit me up. You got any questions? Anyone? Larry, got any questions? Hydration. Yeah, well, if I was to do an hour record, I would probably have a small bottle, only like a couple of mils, maybe a 300ml bottle just to wet my mouth. There's really no need to pack a lot of hydration for even an hour record. I can load up beforehand on carbs and water, and then just whatever's needed to wet my mouth. I do have an air inlet that comes from the rear wheel, if you can see it. Probably can't see it. Down the bottom there, attached to the rear wheel fairing, there is an air inlet, so the rotation of a wheel creates a pump effect which throws the air out, and that goes up the tube and then filtered and then into my mouth. Any other questions? Doesn't look like it.
Explained it too well.
Yeah, I don't know what else to go over. It's there's too much to go over. The screens are magnetically locked in, so it's quick release. Yeah, we'll show you what's in that. What's the size of your gear cluster? Oh, that's a good one. So I've got an 85 tooth at the front, and it runs underneath. I had to notch out a little bit because I didn't design it very well. But my secondary drive system, oh yeah, I'd love to, but I don't. Yeah, I probably can't show it working at the moment.
I was going to say you could
Show the gears.
Yeah, do you want to turn it on?
Yeah, okay. Let's turn it on.
The batteries are in there, right?
Yeah. Oh. One of them was already on. So, yeah, the secondary drive, it's an 85, and then that's a 32 to 16, so it's a 2-to-1 ratio on the secondary. My first gear goes up to 90 k's an hour, and then every other gear is up to the world record speed at 120 RPM. So my first gear is quite high. That's what's on the electronics. So I'm using a Raspberry Pi with a Raspberry Pi Spy camera and an Arduino controlling the servo motors which do the gears.
Yeah, the Arduino and Pi talk to each other.
Yeah, so my battery's run out because I left the top screen is the screen that runs all the programming, and then the bottom screen is just the redundant screen, which is like purely as a backup. Yeah, it's just
not technically direct.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of the gears running through it, so if anything goes wrong, it doesn't like fry and like all the screens.
Yeah, and it's not
drop
connected
out
to any of the sensors. As well, the GPS comes up to here. Also the Ant Plus sensors. So you've got.
Yeah, I have power pedals on here. They're like $2,000 pedals, so they provide a power sensor which is picked up by the Ant Plus wirelessly to that.
So what are they, just like a strain gauge in the pedal?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how it works. But, yeah, so my gear ratios are like it's quite small. It's like a 25 is my biggest and my smallest is a 17, I think. I have not test ridden it yet because I've only just finished it like 2 weeks ago. And I didn't want to scratch it before the before the unveiling. Yeah, Larry, I forgot to turn one of these switches off, and I flattened the battery. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, but I'm going to test ride it because I know I can ride my old one on the velodrome now. So I'll probably just take this one down to the local netball courts just to prove that I can ride it in straight line. Yeah, my record to beat is 119 kilometers an hour, which is not that hard because I did 90 in a beaten up piece of crap. And this one's like glass, so it should be good. Any other questions? Oops, that's me typing. No other questions? Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for now. Hopefully once I stop this live stream, I'll be able to save this video. But I can't guarantee anything. But if I don't, I'll probably just make a video explaining exactly what I've just explained here and put it on my YouTube channel. So I'll put a link to that on my Instagram when I do it. But thank you. If anyone wins the first attempt, hopefully September 2022 in Nevada. But fingers crossed, borders open. We'll see what happens. Yeah, if you know anyone that has a lot of money and wants to give me $10,000 for nothing to sponsor me to take this thing to America,
Just slap their name all over it.
and yeah, I'll put their logos and everything. I'll do all that. I'll sell my soul. If you know anyone that's got $1 million and has a few $100,000 to spare, a few $1,000s to spare, send them my information because I need sponsorship, because I believe I've done enough so far to warrant that. When I first started, I went to Sydney Uni for help, and they said, well, you've got no evidence of you proving that you can do it. Well, here it is. Here's the proof. I can do it. I've built it. It's cost me about $100,000 to build it. So, yeah, if you know anyone, give them my information because I'd really appreciate it. So, what other purple anodized parts? Yeah, so every part on here that's coloured is either painted or anodized. So they're all anodized. The gold's anodized. I bought a home anodizing kit. So the bits in the back are anodized, different colours. The red, the purple, I think that's it. And the orange on this side. And I didn't do this, you can just buy that from factory.
So you did the two-tone, I see. Didn't work out.
Yeah, I tried two-tone, but it didn't really work. It looks alright. It's a bit splotchy,
Yeah.
but see how it go. Yeah, ask the 55 ladies who won the Powerball. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give me anything. Nah, I was, if Tony Walls sees this, just, yeah, give me some money. Yes, normally it's a team of like 14, or I think normally it's about 14 people that go to America that are involved in like any of these events, but it's about 50 people on the university side that is involved in organising. And when I went to America, it was me. I did the flights, I did the accommodation, I built the bike, I raced it. David did the programming and my dad pushed me, and that was it. So I did the work of 55 people basically, and they normally do it in 1 year and I did it in 2, and with COVID it was a bit delayed because of manufacturing and stuff. So yeah, it's basically did the work of 50 people in 1 year. So yeah. And I work full-time job, so yeah, and I had to fund it and work overtime once every 4 weeks. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, cheers. Yes, anyway, thanks for watching. Peace. Follow my journey because I'll be getting fit as of Monday. I'll be back in the gym. So you can follow me on Strava, and if I don't ride one day or if I don't go to the gym, send me a message, get up me, because I might need the motivation to get out of bed at 3 a.m. every morning. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out. See you next time. How do I end this?
So are you getting messages?
Yeah, there's live chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's about, 9 to 10 people currently following.
I don't even know how to end this.
Press the live button, surely.
Yeah, I just did
Yeah, and what happened?
that.
Oh, okay. What did you do? Turn it to like... People are going to be hearing us like figuring
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what happens every time someone goes live. There's always this bit at the end. Oh, can I give you an overview again? Is people still giving answers, questions? Yes, I would be interested in staying in America for 1 week for an hour record. I will be training probably like 2-hour rides every day, so I will be trained for an hour event, but I'll be doing gym work for a sprint event, so I'll probably train for the hour. Human powered vehicle, yes. Please give an overview. That's a front, that's a back. Magic in between. That's about it. Like I said, who said that? Matthew. Yes, I will post, if I can't save this, I will post a video on my YouTube channel describing everything about it, so don't worry, you won't miss anything. So, bye, Jeff. How do you end this thing? Oh, it's got an X. There's an X. End